Immigration. Immigration has been around for a long time. Even when Christopher Columbus found the New World, he was an immigrant. Immigration is defined in the book Introduction to Sociology as the movement of people into one country from another for the purpose of settlement. People who move to other countries for many different reasons, some to make a better life, or others to run from their countries. Our government makes laws in the United States because we have a lot of illegal immigration in the U.S. Many government parties have different views on immigration, laws and regulations, economy, and refugees. The U.S. government has many rules and regulations regarding immigration into the United States. According to the American Immigration Council, you can immigrate to the United States if it's family-based, employment-based, refugees, or asylees. The Diversity Visa Program, humanitarian relief, and U.S. citizenship. You must meet certain criteria and follow all the rules in order to immigrate to this country legally. Many people find it hard to prosper in their country and decide to move to another country that may give them opportunities to help them succeed in life. Family-based immigration. Family-based immigration. The United States allows immediate families to come to the United States legally. This includes spouses, children of U.S. citizens, and parents of U.S. citizens. There is not a specific number of visas that are allowed for spouses and children and their parents. There is a limit of visas on siblings of adult children that are U.S. citizens. There is also a limit on unmarried children and spouses of LPRs. The U.S. citizens must fill out the forms, meet a certain income, and be financially responsible for the family that arrives in the United States. Employee-based immigration. Employee-based, there are two types of employment-based immigration: temporary visas and permanent immigration. Temporary visas are not permanent. There are 20 types of non-immigrant workers. The L visas are companies with transfers. P are for athletic players, entertainers. Those are just some of the types of visas. These types of temporary visas are sponsored by employees or employers for a particular job. There is a limit to the number of temporary visas. Permanent work-based, there are 140,000 visas given per year with 5 different ways. They all have a number limit. The first is people with extraordinary abilities, for example, professors. The second is for people with advanced degrees. The third is for skilled workers that have 2 years of working experience. 1 through 3 have the limit of 40,000 visas limit each. And the fourth is for special immigrants that include different kinds of jobs like former government employees. The fifth is people that invest money to a business and that can employ U.S. workers. Fourth and fifth have a limit of 10,000 visas per year. With all 5, there is a limit of the amount of people from one given country. Refugees. Refugees also have a large impact on our society. According to the American Immigration Council, they say refugees are admitted to the United States based upon an inability to return to their home countries because of a well-rounded fear of prosecution due to their race, membership in a social group, political opinion, religion, or national origin. This makes it hard for them to find a place where they can call home. With fear of returning to their own country, they seek a better life where they do not live in fear. They mentioned that since the terrorist attacks of September 11th, the amount of refugees that were allowed into the U.S. dropped in fear that we could have another attack. Since then, they mentioned that it has slowly increased in the past years. These people try to find a country that can help them. They mention how there is a certain amount of refugees that are allowed from certain countries. Although this is closely regulated, many immigrants can use this space to come into the United States. Asylees. People who are already in the United States who are scared to return to their country may be allowed to apply for an asylum. The application must be done within 1 year and there is no limit for an asylum. Immigration and the U.S. economy. According to Introduction to Sociology, they say that the economists claim that the United States benefits on immigrants working in this country. They mention how there are always controversies regarding this, as 13% of the United States population is made up of immigrants. It also says how, although some immigrants use assistance from the government, they only use it for a short time and their children end up being productive. Many Americans feel that immigrants end up costing them a lot of money, but in reality, they help boost the economy. Illegal immigrants often hurt the economy, but this is why we have rules and regulations. When Americans usually think of immigrants, they think of people of Hispanic origin. But according to the Introduction of Sociology, they mention that Asian Americans make up the majority of immigrants in the United States. They also show a graph that shows that Asian ethnicity has a 50.4% rate of graduating from college, one of the highest in ethnicities. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security. The U.S. government has organizations that help catch illegal immigrants and send them back to their original country. When immigrants come to the United States illegally, they often come in contact with the United States Department of Homeland Security. They are responsible for regulating the immigrants that can be harmful to the United States and that decided they do not want to follow the correct procedures to enter this country. According to Homeland Security, they say ICE has adopted common sense policies to ensure our immigration laws are enforced in a way that best enhances public safety, borders security, and the integrity of the immigration system. They use rules that prioritize who needs to be investigated and who needs to be removed from this country. They mention how they have removed near 400,000 illegal immigrants from the United States. E-Verify. They have used a system called E-Verify to help employers verify if immigrants are legally here or not. These systems have helped our country with illegal transport of drugs and terrorists. We often think that the economy is our main focus when thinking of illegal immigrants. But the main problem is not the economy, but the drugs that enter our country and get fed to the American people. There are also threats to our country, whether it be terrorist attacks or possible harm to Americans. Stephen Castles and Mark Miller. According to Introduction of Sociology, Stephen Castles and Mark Miller identified tendencies that will characterize migration. The first is acceleration. They mention how migration has been occurring in bigger numbers than in the past. The second is diversification. This means that there are many different types of immigration than there was before. The third one is globalization. With migration becoming global, most countries are able to both send and receive immigrants. The fourth is feminization. There are more women than men immigrating, unlike before, where the majority was males. The increase is due to domestic workers, sexual trafficking of women, and also mail order brides.
There are many people in this world looking for a permanent home. Where are there most immigrants worldwide? United States of America, Russia, Germany. All of these countries have something in common. They can provide better income, freedom, stability. What is the impact on families who are migrating? Emotions on families. Immigration. Many different things can be a big factor of a change, and some of them are post-traumatic stress, isolation and lack of social connection, language barriers, racism, grief, and loss. I am an immigrant.